Let's look at how we can make a histogram with Excel. In this example, we have the data from 100 employees indicating things like how many hours they work, their education, their income, and their age. Let's suppose we want to create a histogram showing the workers' ages. Now, in order to do this, we need to create a frequency table before we can create a histogram. So if you haven't created a frequency table, if you don't know how to create a frequency table, you can look at one of my videos on how to create a frequency table. But here we have the frequency table with age for these 100 employees. Now, what we want to do is we want to enter into our cell there, and it says pivot table fields. We're not going to change any of the pivot table fields. The pivot table was how we made this. Now, something we might want to do is that when I made the frequency table, all the bins were 10 wide, but I said, oh, that looks funny if we say that how many workers from 10 to 19 do we have? And so we changed it to 18 to 19 since we didn't have anybody under 18. But for a frequency, for a histogram, let's change it back to 10 to 19. That'll make all of our bins the same width, and that'll just be a lot nicer. So I changed that there so that all the bins have an equal width, and I put the selected cell inside the table, and so I'm going to go to Insert, and then in the chart section, I'm going to choose a bar chart, and I'm going to choose the first 2D column chart, and we have a bar chart here. Now this bar chart is different than a histogram. You might remember what's a bar chart? A bar chart has gaps, whereas a histogram doesn't have gaps. A histogram shows the smooth distribution. So what we want to do to change this bar chart to a histogram is let's double click on these bars, and it'll give us some options, and we want to change the gap width. It's 219%. We want to change it to 0. And that will make a histogram. Now, to make this histogram a little bit more clear, let's put some lines. Let's put some border lines on the each one of these bars in the histograms. I want a solid line, and I want to make it black and black, and let's make it a little bit wider, and that looks pretty good. I did a compound type. I want to make a solid line. That makes dash type. Well, that's okay. We can do that. And so we click, and oh yes, it went to solid there. All right, and so let's get rid of our format shape. Now we've got our our histogram here now. Now it's got a bad title, so we need to change the title to something that's actually clear. So we're going to have histogram of workers' ages. That looks good. Now, because it's made from a pivot table, they've already put some axis titles there for age here and frequency here. That's good. One thing that we can do is we've got this little sign that says total there. That's called the legend. Let's just delete that legend, actually. And we can do it delete, and there it's gone, and that's a lot clearer because it didn't add anything to us. And so there we've got a good histogram of, we make it so it fits in here a little bit better. That's a little flat, we make it a little taller, and we've got a nice histogram of the workers' ages.